Hello, I'm Micks Mowers Man, and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to take a little look at a Honda IZY lawnmower that I picked up about a week ago. I picked it up as part of a job lot originally, but I forgot to pick it up from the fella and I had to go back, and when I went back there was some more there and I picked them up as well. So Mrs. P was over the moon that I picked up another job lot of mowers. But this little mower I got in, I did get it running, but I think the dead man's handle cable is broken. But more importantly, the carburetor is leaking fuel out of the top of carb. So we have a problem with the carburetor. So if your lawnmower is leaking fuel out of the carburetor or airbox, then this could be the video for you. If this is the first time you're watching Micks Mowers Man, hit the old subscribe button, whack the old bell. No Riley boy today, he's at school. Then that way you'll be told next time we'll upload another video. So without further ado, let's get down and dirty. Let's get this Honda IZY up on the bench, try and look at the carburetor, see what's wrong with that, fix the cable and get it up and running. Okay, so as you can see, Honda IZY's up on the bench. I think this is the 18-inch one. This isn't the little one. There's a little tiny few rust spots here and there on it, but you know, it doesn't look the best. However, it's just going to be just knocked out as it is. I shan't be doing a full restoration on it. There's just no point for me. This has been used commercially, okay, because it's got a number on here, been etched in here. It's got always use Aspen fuel, so someone's used Aspen in it, and warning, responsibility for your daily checks. So yeah, I would say this has been used commercially or something along that line, because there's a few stickers on it which aren't on here from standard. So someone's saying make sure you check your lawnmower every day, lads, before you blow it up. So the reason for why I threw it out, I don't know. I did get it started, but it didn't start very well. But then it won't do if there is actually a carburetor problem on this machine. So what I'm going to do is remove the air filter, take the air filter out, which is absolutely disgusting, throw that straight in the bin, and we can put a new one in there a bit later on today. I'm going to see if there's any fuel in the old tank of mini stuff. No fuel in there. Let's just put a little dribble in, because I just want to show you what it's doing. Now, I've turned the tap off. I don't know if the tap works or not. So a little tiny dribble of fuel goes in. That should be enough for task. Just wait 2 or 3 seconds. You can see here there's like a smear mark, which is where the petrol's been leaking continuously. Okay, so let's let that fuel run down as far as the tap. It does look like the tap is working because there's no fuel coming out down the bottom here. Now if I turn the fuel tap on, this was leaking fuel. I can smell fuel, but this was actually leaking fuel when I filled it up. So if your fuel is coming either out of the vent here on the front of the carby or leaking out the bottom, then you actually have a carburetor issue. Either the O-ring is gone or the float is stuck or something along that line. But this was absolutely leaking fuel. Here it comes now. I can just see it now. Here it comes. Absolutely gashing fuel out. So turn the tap straight off, Mick. So if your lawnmower's doing that, okay, then this is a video for you. So let's see what's up with it. Now it looks like to me it's actually, when I turn that tap on, I can see it leaking out the top here, okay? So it's coming out the throat of the carburetor. So that tells me we actually have a problem with something inside the carby. Generally, it's because dirt has got in there, and that's the main reason, because the float is stuck up in the air. So what we're going to do first off is remove to HT lead, because we want to be safety conscious, make sure it doesn't start. Not that it will, because it was a poor starter anyway. And we're going to undo the 310 mils that hold the carburetor onto the engine, and then that way we can then investigate as to what's going on. Okay, so 310 mils, anyone can do that, peasy peasy. Just pull the airbox off very slightly, and you'll find there's a hose pipe here which goes onto this crankcase breather pipe a bit later on. So don't forget to put that back a bit later. Now this is a bit of a tricky bit, because all of this is all dirty. This is a manual choker, so that'll have to be removed, and you've got the throttle here as well, the throttle governor spring on top. Just pay attention as to what you've got here. So you've got a gasket this side, a little rubber gasket here. Yeah, pay attention, man. And then over this side here, you'll have another gasket with an insulation block on the far side. Okay, so just try and pay attention, man, to what we're doing. You want to try and remove the fuel pipe first, okay? So just drop the carburetor down slightly, and there's a little tiny fuel pipe just down here. Pay attention, man. And then You get a pair of long nose pliers, remove a little tiny clip that holds the fuel line on. I don't like the Honda ones. They're not my favourite because they tend to hang on for dear life, and you end up breaking the fuel hose. To be fair, this does need a new fuel hose on the back end. I can see that already, and that's just broken anyway. So they are quite brittle. So let's have a new fuel line anyway. So once your fuel line's been disconnected and your fuel tap's turned off, you can then literally look. Watch this. Look, you can just pick up the choke and the throttle pipes connections, tip it up, and then rotate the carby round towards you and take it off. Okay, like that. Then remove a little tiny spring. Boom, carburetor's off in one go. That didn't take long, did it? We can all do that. So what we've got to do is lift up, try and keep that carb up straight if I can, Mick, I want to see what's inside it. Just lift those two up in the air, and then tip and rotate the carby out. And just now take some photographs of your pictures of what goes where, and you know, that sort of stuff, where there's a gasket and where there's not. Take loads of photographs, that way you won't get stuck later on when you go and put it back together. So this will need a new fuel hose here, because that fuel hose is very brittle, very solid, and this fuel hose here has got a crack in it anyway, I think, by the looks of it. So it looks like that's been weeping anyway, so that's no good. Alright, so that's the first thing we're going to do. Look at this carburetor as to why it's actually leaking fuel. I suspect it's because the needle's stuck up or the float's stuck up or something on that line. So let's get over to the bench, quick little gander, have a look at it, see what we think. Okay, let's get me impact, going to need that. I'm going to put a little bit of light on the old subject too, just to improve it for your benefit and for my own. Carburetor. I've just blown the top of the carburetor off with an air compressor. All I'm going to do is just tip this carburetor up onto its side and then just crack that little tiny nut at the bottom. Okay, cool, that's right on there, that is. That's seriously on there. Let's just put that there. I'll grab myself a rag, so I'll try and collect some of the debris that's in this carby, rather than just pouring it straight onto my carburetor tray. Just so we can actually see what's going on. Put that. Hi Nana. Oh, Nana's here with a McDonald's cup of coffee. Thank you, Nana. You can bring it in, sweetheart. Thank you, darling. That was nice of you to think of me whilst on your trip out somewhere. It's unlike you guys to normally think of me whilst you're out drinking coffee at McDonald's. Or Starbucks, yeah, well, wherever it is you go. Thank you, honey.
Riley said, you
yeah, I know. Well, that's not my fault. Thank you, honey. So we'll give us a little tiny tap now. Tap a tap. There it goes. Ping. And there's a little bit of muck in there. It's not a great deal. So the chances are this float is what's stuck up in the air. I would say. Yeah, it's leaking. I can hear it. Yeah, it's letting by. So because it's letting by, that's the reason why it's flooding. Try and get this silly little clip off these Honda machines. I hate them. Let's get rid of that. God, that's right on there, that is. They ain't been moved for a long old time. Oh, get rid of that. Okay, so now, all we're going to do, we're going to remove the pin out of the float, put it in the magnet tray, lift the float up. There's a little tiny needle there. We're going to remove that as well, so that all sits in together. Make sure you see that, guys, little tiny needle. And inside here, there'll be a little tiny, tiddly-widdly main jet. Now, I have, as I keep saying, lost my homemade carburetor screwdriver. Have I got it or not? Is that moving? I don't think it is. Nah, that ain't gonna move. I think somebody has been in here. I need to find my carburetor screwdriver because I can't find it. And I think somebody might have been in there. So I get a little tiny shot of WD-40. Just to run that through. I'll get a bit of a clean first, okay guys, because it isn't doing what it should be doing at the moment. It's blocked. And if I can run some WD-40 down through the carby in all the places it needs to, then that WD-40 will help in trying to release that main jet. I need to find my screwdriver. Give me 2 seconds. I'll have a quick look for it. So I can't find it, but I have lost it. I don't know where it's gone. 2 seconds. Okay, I'm going to try and use my 6-in-1 tool. That's got a screwdriver bit that fits in there. That seems to be quite a good fit. It's may become my new jetting driver. Yeah, that's fitted it. I don't know where it's gone. It's really bugging me. It's only a homemade cheap one, but I've had it for so long. So long. It'll turn up. One day when I have a remodel on the old workshop, I'll go, oh, there it is. There's my 14mm spanner I've been looking for, and there's that and the other. Come on, Mr. Main Jet. Out you come. You can't live in there forever. It's getting there. Let's put a bit of spray in there. Pay attention, man. That one there. That's working. Bit of a WD-40 behind it, that'll help. Here it comes. We got a cool. Right, there's the main jet. You've got an emulsion tube in there. You've got to put your screwdriver in. There's a little tiny brass bit sitting up in the main jet there. You've got to oink that out of it and all. Push it down. But that's got to come out too. This is why I really missed my screwdriver. There it goes. Get a bit of a push. Push it back up. And just keep moving it. And eventually you'll get enough cleanliness on there and good stuff to keep that moving, and eventually it will just tap out like that. So there's our main jet and emulsion tube. Emulsion tube's got a load of ethanol around it. Okay, load of it. I can see it as. So it's not been used with the Aspen stuff. You can see that. So now what I'm after is a set of files, which I have over here. Pay attention, man. If anyone can tell me where that comes from, that what I keep saying in the comment section, pay attention, man. If anyone can put a comment in the section down below, let me know what that comment comes from. Pay attention, man. Let me know. Put it in the comment section down below. Alright. So all I'm doing now is literally got these little tiny set of files, and I'm just literally just cleaning these little tiny holes up on this emulsion tube, just so they run a bit better. Different sizes, so use a different size file, lads and girls. Just keep rimming them. Rimming. That's it. Give that a little tiny clean up. It's a bit dirty birdie. I got a new magnet tray, because the one I got from wherever it's from, can't remember now. Something tray it was called. Vapo tray or something. I can't remember what it's called now. I can't remember the name of the company. That one buckled. I had, but this one seems to be made of different stuff. I got it off of Amazon. It was about 25-30 quid. But it's got a little magnet tray on the front of it, which I quite like. I think it's kind of cute. So I'm going to drill out the main jet, find a little tiny connection file or a little file that fits that just about right. Oh, that's too big. It's too big, baby. Try that one. That's gone in, that's a bit too small. Got one about medium size. That's going to be... That's thicker than that, that's thicker than that, that's thicker than that. It's going to be that one. I don't want to go there. So just get a file that fits it, and then just literally just rim the main jet. I'm just applying some sideways pressure on the file and just cleaning the walls up of that main jet. I'm not opening it up. I'm not, you know, making it bigger. I literally am just rimming it. A little bit of squirt in there. That's that cleaned up. That's lovely, bajubbly. It's good. I've got someone coming in a minute from one of my chippers. I just sold a chipper and it's absolutely lashing down with rain. You're going to love sitting out in the garden watching that run for 5 minutes. So that's that done. I want to get a screwdriver now, and then in the bowl, a little tidy up, a little scratch up. There's a bit of gunk in there. Let's loosen it, and then I've got a little bit of wire wool down here. Take a bit of wire wool, a little tiny squirt of WD, put my finger over the hole at the back just to stop the fluid from running out, put the wire wool in and give it a darn good clean. Clean that up, and that's got rid of 90% of the stuff inside there, so that's good. Disregard my iron wool, give that a clean. Don't know iron filings in the carb later on. That's good. That's that done. Only thing left to do on this little carby is there's a slow idle circuit on the side of the carb. We're going to remove the idle screw, take that out, tip it over, and remove the billy idle. Take that out, and then a bit of squirt in there, a little bit of dirt in there. Run that out, and you want that to come out this main jet on the side here. Look, see, they're coming out of there. Run that out. That's good. And then just a general through any hole where there is any hole. Stick it in and spray it. Anywhere where there's an hole. Do you see an hole? Obviously not in there because that just goes straight through. Anywhere where there's an hole, whip, just literally blast it. This is a genuine Honda carby, so we want to make sure we're cleaning all the orifices out on this car. And we're there. So a quick little blow off with my air compressor. We'll do that now. Just go very careful where the fuel goes through from the tank. Just don't go too hard with that, because if there's a seat in there, you'll blow the seat out. That'll do. It ain't got to be pretty. Right, that's the carburetor now cleaned. We like that. Just going to turn my attention to the little needle on the float, just here. Just going to give it a little tiny clean, ever so gently. Not going to go mad with it. That's it. That looks good. We can now put the float back onto the needle. Just sits on there. It balances, and then balance that into that hole just there, like that. See how easy that was? Get your little tiny, float needle. Stick that in there, just like that. Who says it's just like that? Put in the comment section below. Okay, so float needle's now back on, and we now want to put the emulsion tube back in. Get a quick little clean, because it has been in that little tiny tray there. Give that a little clean. The longest side goes in first. See the two little sides there? Differences. Make sure that the long side goes in first. Chuck him in. Followed by your main jet, which was a little bit restricted. It wasn't blocked, but I think we just had a float issue. And all we're going to do is we're going to nip that up. Itchy nose. Nip that up. That's in. We then want to place the screw on the slow idle circuit. So that's in, well seated. Done, and then replace the idling screw. That's that. And all we want is about 2 or 3 threads hanging out the back of that. We can always adjust it with an extra long screwdriver later on, but normally it's 2 or 3 threads is what just keeps it idling. So that's all now put back together. We can now put our bowl, which is now nice and clean, back on. We can now put our little tiny 10mm nut wherever that is gone. Oh, it is there. Thought I lost it for a minute. Well, I've lost it, we all know that. That goes in there. I'll do that up with a little screw, with a little spanner, and we're good to go. That should be the fix why your carburetor's leaking. So let's get it fitted back to the machine, some new hose pipes, and we'll go from there. Okie dokie. So, I'm going to fit the carby back on now. So just remember, it goes around this way. Plastic swivel towards the front, which is your choke. Metal swivel towards the back. And all you want to do is just marry up your two rods. Okay. Do your throttle one first at the back, and then marry up your choke one. Once they're both in the holes, you can then just hold both the rods together, and then push the opposite way and twist them down. And then grab your little tiny throttle spring. And that's just got to sit. There's a hole just behind that throttle arm. There's another hole there. You just got to sit that onto there, like so. That's on, and that can just sit there and stay there like that. Okay. Next, what I want to do is I want to drain all the fuel out of here because the fuel that was in there was leaking, and I need to change the fuel pipes as well. Okay, so there's only a little tiny dribble of fuel in there. Just trying to find a little tiny cup just to put that in. That will do perfect, Mickle Mouse. We'll give that a bit of a clean. As I say, just because there's a little tiny bit of fuel in here, and the prices of fuel, I don't want to waste any. So let's just get a rag, give that a clean. Make sure there's no debris in there for us to pick up. And then grab that fuel hose out, tip that cup in, and just turn that on. This is premium fuel, guys, so I can't afford to waste it, really. Let me just drain that out. There shouldn't be a lot in there. I didn't put a lot in. Pardon me, that's that coffee. That's pretty much it. Right, that's it. Let's just put a bit of rag underneath there to stop any more paint being torn off by the petrol. So now, all I want to do is I want to replace the fuel hoses on this tank itself. So I'm going to grab myself a long screwdriver, Phillips. This is what I want. And then all you can do is you just go around the back here. There's a little tiny Phillips screw which holds this fuel tap on. Just loosen that off. And be a bit careful, don't break it. Oh, shorter reach. I'm at the wrong angle, but angle. That's better. Oh, I don't want to come off either. There it goes. Right, we got it. So by undoing a little tiny screw on the back of the fuel tap, you can then remove the entire fuel tap itself. Take that off. And your fuel tap will then just come out. Boom. And then you can replace the two hoses, this one and this one, coming off the tank. And again, these have got those silly little clips that Honda like to use. I don't like these clips though. I think they eat into the fuel hoses. Keep that bit, the outer sheath, because that bit can be used to protect the fuel line, you see. So these got to come off and then just replace those with a bit of standard pipe that you got. You can see the thickness of the pipe in places. Okay, so just replace that. I'll be back to you in 2 seconds. Okay, new fuel hose now fitted. So we've got a new fuel hose fitted from, stuck in there, from the tank, going down to the tap, off the back of a tap, going onto the carby. Brand new fuel hose, which I got given off my Amazon wish list, so that's very nice indeed. Thank you very much indeed for that. So now, got to try and fit the carby back on. Only thing to note is this little tiny tube here must go onto the crankcase breather pipe, which is just hither. That's the only thing you've got to do. Apart from that, just make sure that all your gaskets and what have you are in the original place from where you once left them. So now we can now tip this all up, start to thread your carburetor bolts in. Once you get them halfway in, come on, get them in, and then you can then line up your crankcase breather, which is the hardest bit to do. You can remove the pull cord assembly to help you, or you can get a pair of hemostats, because hemostats are very, very long and thin. And what you can do is get hold of your crankcase breather tube, like so, get hold of it, and then just by rocking it backwards you can then slide it onto place, just like so. Easy peasy, when you know how. And we can see what you're doing. This is the hardest part. Now people will say, Mick, use a dowse. No, I'm not going to use dowse because you lot keep telling me to use them. I ain't using them. Right, that's on. That's gone on. So now, it's got to line all that carby up. And all I'm going to do is double check very quickly that that crankcase breather pipe is on, because it is mightily important. A little tiny hose at the back, can't see, in there. Yeah, that's on. Good. So now I'm going to get my impact, which would be behind me somewhere. There it is. Get my impact and very, very gently just run those 10 mils back up. And I've got another little 10 mil here to put on as well. And that should be it. Then we'll grab some fuel and then we'll go for a fuel test to see if we haven't stopped this leaking. Okay, so now what's always left to do, we've done the air filter, we've done the new fuel lines, we've done the blaze sharpener and balance, we've done the spark plug, we've done the oil. That's all done. The only thing that's got left to do is this dead man's handle cable is broke. So I've got to replace the cable. Now you can just buy a new cable, and then there should be numbers on here which tell you what's what. So this cable here, try and find a number if I can find the number, easier said than done. There's a number there, that's for the throttle, I think. Throttle number is 17850. VH3 is your throttle cable, but my dead man hasn't got a number on it. But what I do, I don't buy cables, I just make my own. So up top right hand corner now, you'll find a link to how I make my own cables. Go and check out that video, and that will get you out of a pickle if your cable was snapped as well. So go and check that video out. I'll also put it at the end card as well. At the end of the video, you can just hit the next video, and that'll show you how to fix lawnmower cables cheap. Let me get that done, and once we're done, I'll take the machine outside, we'll try and fire it up and see how we get on. Okay, it is lashing down with rain, so we'll try and get this done quite quick. I don't want to get soaking wet. New spark plug, new air filter, all changed. Blaze sharpener and balance, carburetor cleaned, new pull cord, new cable for a dead man. It is missing a bit here. Something goes here, which stops this dead man from falling all the way down. So I need to try and find something like that. But anyway, it's saying it works where it is. So I'm happy with that. So I haven't tried to start it. Fuel's turned on. I have to top the fuel up a bit more. One thing I didn't check is if it's actually choking or not. That's one thing I didn't check actually. I might need to adjust it. No, it says it's choking, so that's good. So we'll go for a fire up then. Now last time it didn't want to start at all, did it? So I've got to tighten that up as well. Let me get a 10mm spanner because I haven't tightened that control box up when I put that cable on. Let me just grab a 10mm. I've got one on the impact, I think. Oh, there's a spanner. I'll put it in my pocket because it's lashing down the rain. So let me just tighten that up because that'll all be loose otherwise, loosey goosey. And then we'll try and fire it up and see what it do. Hopefully it'll start. If it starts and runs, we're on a winner here. What's occurring there? Why not going up? That's better. I was undoing it, Nick. Pay attention, man. Right. Do that up. Right, okay. Moment of truth time then. Do it start, do it run. Let's have a look. Dead man in. On the choke. It didn't last time. First pull. So one's speeding up slightly and the idle screw was turning in just a touch. But it runs. Once I speed it up a touch as well, it run even better. Bit of a hunt issue there. So it's going to want more carburetor work. It's making a very funny noise like this. So a bit more carburetor work involved, but I can do it at my leisure. At least now the machine now does start. It doesn't run properly, but as I say, carburetor clean again. And I know it's fuel because it starts on choke. Okay, ultrasonic cleaner has now been done and the carburetor has now been fitted to the Honda. No fuel leaks, and I also found the little tiny bit that goes onto there. I had a spare set of old handles at the back. I was talking to Mrs. P, having a cup of coffee, and I just spotted that, and so now that handle now doesn't go any further past back, so that's good. As I say, no fuel leaks, nothing going on that it shouldn't be, so hopefully we now might have fixed this little tiny Honda. Let's give your lens a quick little clean. All my dirty paw prints all over it. So I'm looking for this machine to now fire up, run on choke, full throttle, idle, and do everything it should do. And hopefully, this is the one, as I say, I went back for. That was, I'd forgotten it. And hopefully this machine will now do what it should do. So yeah, hopefully it should be good. Just make sure I am recording. Yeah, I am. I didn't know I pushed the button, I just talked to myself. So let's give it a go. New pull cord, new spark plug, new air filter, oil change, new fuel lines, blades, sharpen and balance. It's had everything it should do, and a new cable as well. As I say, this dead man flopped all the way down, but it's missing this bit here, so someone's definitely had a bit of a fiddle with it. So, onto choke. So I want now to start, stop, and run without hunting will be good. First pull, off choke. So last time, after about 30 seconds, it started to hunt and surge, so I'll just give that 30 seconds. It's just about to start to rain again. So about now it was hunting and surging. I've also just turned the revs up slightly as well by adjusting the governor arm. I have got a video on that as well. So it sounds better. The last time it wouldn't idle. So it idles. Doesn't cut out. Yeah, baby. That could idle down to touch, but I might just adjust that idle slightly. But it is idling down low on what it should do. Yeah, happy with that. Let's just make sure it will start off its own back. Now it's warmed up a touch. There you go. Honda IZY 19-inch lawnmower, all now up and running, fully serviced, good for the season. So there you go, bish bash bosh, that's that lawnmower now done, and I'm sort of pleased because that's the one I went back for, and they sell for good money in my area. It's not too rusty either, just a little bit of paint flaking here and there, but with a Honda engine it should sell quite well and quite quick too. As I say, it's had a new air filter, new spark plug, new oil change, new pull cord, the cable's been, throttle cable's been sorted out. It's had a little bit on the arm to stop the dead man's handle from knocking back as well. It's had everything done it should do. Carburetor clean, stopped the fuel leak. However, another clean in the ultrasonic cleaner got the machine running correctly rather than making silly noise just like this. So that's good. So yeah, I'm super happy. And again, you know, another lawnmower saved from a landfill site, bought cheap, sold for reasonable money, and we can move on to the next one. If you like sort of video Micks Mowers and Merman, hit the old subscribe button, whack the old bell. No Riley boy. Set notifications to all, that way you'll be told next time I upload another video. I look forward to the next episode of Micks Mowers very soon. But until then, guys and girls, much more importantly, don't forget, take her easy.